Hello everyone! Thank you so much for joining me and watching me draw this little breakdown of my illustration process with Copic markers. Today I'm drawing a little illustration from Pixar's Lava. It was a short that played right before Inside Out. Really cute short, and it was a really cute movie. So I decided to draw it for Valentine's Day, and I'm going to break down how I went about creating this piece. So as you can see, I'm focusing on the silhouette. This kind of helps me break down the overall shapes that are involved. And then once I get that silhouette to where I want it, I can start working on some of the details on the inside. Still keeping it really general, not working on little details yet, just getting those overall shapes put in and just focusing on my big landmarks. It's kind of funny we're talking about landmarks because they're like volcanoes. Yeah, thought that was kind of funny. And I'm using those really nice Cool Erase Prismacolor pencils. They're nice and light and really easy to use with Copic markers. They're not too dark, so I don't feel like I have to erase everything. And then also sometimes when you use a regular pencil, the Copic markers tend to pick it up on the tips. And I don't really like that because I feel like it makes the color a little bit dirty sometimes, and I don't have that effect with these Cool Erase pencils. And I'll leave a link to those down below in the description. Alright, so once I got my details put in, I have picked out my colors. Now these colors weren't exactly how they were from the short, but I approach Copic markers a lot like I do painting. There's a lot of mixing that you have to do, but since I'm not using paint and I'm using markers, I have to mix them after they've been applied. So it's a lot of back and forth between the colors. So there I put on my lightest color, and then I'm adding in my darker color on top of it. And as you can see, I'm a little bit ADD when it comes to art. I'm never working in one spot too long. I think it's a bit of a personal preference, not necessarily something you have to do in order to make good art. Because some people, they'll only focus on one major point in the illustration that inspires them and that helps them get through the rest of the piece, whereas I tend to jump around a lot. Alright, some tips for using the color green. Green is probably one of the most difficult colors to use because it's kind of bright, and usually it's best if you mix it with other colors. So I'm kind of mixing my green with some browns and tan colors right here to kind of get that nice tropical mountain / volcano that I'm working on here. And then a little bit later I go over literally all of this green that I'm laying down with a light yellow. So that way it will kind of tone it down a little bit because it's just such an intense color. So the best thing you can do with green is try to add it with another color. Okay, I'm adding a little bit of lava at the top with some orange and yellow, and then I'm just adding a little bit of warm gray for the smoke coming out of the volcanoes. And then here I'm going to use two different colors for the sky in the background. I didn't have the right blues that I wanted. I kind of ran out of a few colors. I need to go shopping again and buy some more refills. But here's another example of blending. You have to go back and forth a little bit between the two colors for them to blend. Here I'm adding a little bit more green. I'm starting to focus more on value, and one of my pencils, my colored pencil, the lead broke off, so I was kind of holding it. And by using these colored pencils, I'm adding more of that rock texture on my volcanoes. And then here I am going in, adding shadows under the eyes and the chin. And that's going to add a little bit of that 3D depth to my characters. I usually work from light to dark when it comes to Copic markers like this because you can make things darker, but it's not necessarily easy to make things lighter. So that's why I'm adding the darker details last. And here I am adding in some blue color pencil for the shadows. If you'll notice when you're outside on a summer's day and there's a blue sky, the shadows aren't necessarily black or gray. Because of the color of the sky, it creates blue shadows. Adding a little bit of water, and then I've got a rim where it's touching the mountain so it looks kind of more like water. And then I go in and I add a little bit of shadow underneath the clouds, and that'll help them appear like they're floating just above my volcanoes like that. And I got one of those white gel pens, which is so handy when you're using Copic markers. It's almost like a little eraser that you can use. And we're all done. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you are interested in taking home any of my illustrations, be sure to go to my store Envy at altillustration.storeenvy.com or message me via social media if what you're looking for isn't on there. If you liked this tutorial, please let me know. I haven't really done very many of them, but I look forward to doing more this year for you guys because I've kind of heard from a few of you that you want more tutorial style videos. Thanks, and if you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I love hearing from you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye!